troubleshooting, installing a ceiling fan, replacing smoke detectors, or upgrading your old electrical panel, the electricians at Any Hour Services can help. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. Help with electrical projects and repairs is closer than you think. Call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Riley Herbst from 2311 Racing here. You know what grinds my gears? Waiting for coffee. But instead of counting frappes and lattes, I fire up Chumba Casino. No apps, no fuss, just fun social casino games to pass the time. By the time my coffee's ready, I've already taken a few victory laps. Next time you're stuck waiting, make it entertaining. Play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Dear Rocky Roads, the 2025 Toyota Tacoma doesn't flinch. Rugged twists, been there. Rugged turns, I've done that. With tons of top tech and rock-solid resilience to offer than any terrain. And when the dust settles, Tacoma's legendary resale value means confidence for the road ahead. Find your Tacoma at Toyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. Now get ready for Strange Things with Joshua P.
Welcome to our podcast. Please be aware the thoughts and opinions expressed by the host are their thoughts and opinions only and do not reflect those of iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio, Coast to Coast AM, employees of Premier Networks, or their sponsors and associates. We would like to encourage you to do your own research and discover the subject matter for yourself.
Exercises and weird experiments you can do at home, and a lot more. On this edition of the show, Huna. And do you know about this secret lab? I bet you don't. Because it's a kind of a secret lab. Two different topics, but somehow oddly related. You may or may not know that I live here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I probably sound a little stuffy today because the sandstorms have been kicking up again. That's the thing. When you live out in the desert, there are pros and cons. I love the fact that almost every day is sunny and it almost never rains, but when those winds kick in, boy, you get a lot of particulates in the air. But here's something I bet that you don't know about Las Vegas. Many people call this city the Ninth Island. The Ninth Island. Well, why is that? If you know anything about Hawaii, Hawaii is actually made up of, over 100 little islands, but there are 8 big islands there. And so many people over the years have traveled from Hawaii to Las Vegas, even moved here, that now there is this huge community of Hawaiians and Hawaiian culture here in Las Vegas. As a matter of fact, Google says that the largest number of Hawaiian culture, I guess the largest amount of Hawaiian culture outside of Hawaii exists here in Las Vegas. And that's pretty wild, isn't it? Yeah, the Ninth Island. And so you can always ride around here, drive around here, and you see all these signs for Hawaiian barbecue and various types of Hawaiian dishes. And, I have never been to Hawaii. It's on my list of things to do. Here's my problem, because, I'm pretty close to it. You can get on an airplane here and you can fly to Hawaii in about 6.5 hours. And to many people, that's just nothing. But to me, that's a long flight. I kind of have a problem being on airplanes for more than a couple hours at a time if I can help it. Now, I have done it before. I've flown to Europe and whatnot. But if I'm going to travel within the U.S., I'll fly 2 or 3 times. I'll fly a couple hours to one city, hang out for a day, and then fly to another city, hang out. So to me, I just haven't sort of taken the time to prepare for it like that. But you know what? There is occasionally a cruise that you can take from Hawaii, it's from Los Angeles to Hawaii, and you explore all the islands and back over 17 days, a Viking cruise. I would love to do that. So that's one of these days I'm probably going to try to do that. Maybe I'll even be able to record podcasts and stuff while I'm in the middle of it. I don't know. So even though I haven't been to Hawaii yet, I am again fascinated with, I've always been fascinated with the Hawaiian culture. And if you've been listening to this show for a while, I'm sure you've heard me talk about what is called Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. It is a traditional Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness. And if you don't know, if you've never heard about this, go back, do yourself a favor. This could change your life. I'm serious. And I don't say that about many things that I talk about, but this really could. Go back and listen to episode 18 of this podcast called Strange Things. Episode 18 is called Ho'oponopono and Synchronicity. Now, don't even try to spell Ho'oponopono, but the word translates into English simply as correction. And if you want to get more detailed, if you go to the Hawaiian dictionary, the term is, quote, to put to rights, to put in order or shape, to correct, revise, adjust, amend, regulate, rectify, tidy up. And there are a lot of other words here, but regardless, a lot of adjectives. But the methodology of Ho'oponopono is very, very simple. It's a system of thought. And sort of the modern practice of Ho'oponopono revolves around these terms. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And if you listen to episode 18 of the show, you'll understand why the repetition of those phrases appears to have a cleansing effect on the mind, the body, and the spirit. And once I did that podcast, you would not believe, to this day, the amount of people who listen, who contact me and say, I use the method that you talked about in that podcast, the Ho'oponopono method, and it literally changed my life, and it changed the lives of everybody around me. I'll never forget, there was one woman who said, I have a son who was just helplessly addicted to a terrible drug, and we tried everything and we couldn't get him off of it. And so I tried the Ho'oponopono method, and it's a miracle. You know, he's no longer hooked on this drug. I mean, powerful stuff like that was coming to me. And so I always love exploring new approaches to thought and manifestation, making your life somehow better by exploring different ways of looking at life, and different things work more or less for different people. So that's why we look at all the different varieties on this show that I can find. And maybe if one day you might hear me talk about something and it doesn't connect, and the next day you go, wow, now that makes sense to me, and that is the thing that works for me. Well, I got an email recently from a man in the Netherlands named Peter, and he said that he wanted to recommend a book he thought I would enjoy by William R. Glover, and it's called, simply enough, Huna. He says, in it is an easy exercise to connect with your higher self. Okay, great. I love it. And it's actually kind of an obscure book, it turns out. It was sort of hard for me to find a copy online, but I got one. It's in my hands here, called Huna, the Ancient Religion of Positive Thinking. Now, you know, again, having never been to Hawaii, I've heard the term Huna, but I don't really know what it means. Do you? So I decided to look into it. And I thought, I wonder if Huna is similar to Ho'oponopono. And of course, we've all heard the term like the big kahuna, like this guy's the big kahuna. And apparently in Hawaii, that simply means a wise man or a shaman. So that's interesting. So I'm not sure if the word, let's see if the word Huna comes directly from that. Okay, now here we go. Here's what we get from the almighty internet. It's that word itself. It says it's a Hawaiian word for secret. Now we're back to this idea that there are certain jewels of thought that some people have mastered and captured. You might think, well, why would you keep the ability to manifest positive things a secret? Well, I think it's because, unfortunately, if you become a great manifester, you can also use that to manifest evil things sometimes, if that's what you want to do. It all goes back to like the Star Wars mythos. You can be Darth Vader, or you can be Yoda. They're both using the Force, and so sometimes you got to be careful with who you give access to this kind of information. But anyway, here's what it says here historically. Huna is the word adopted by the New Age author Max Freedom Long in 1936 to describe describe his theory of metaphysics. Now, you see, that surprises me because I would just assume, I know like people of the Hawaiian Islands, and so I kind of assumed that Huna would be one of those things like, oh yes, this has been around for thousands of years. But no, it says, 1936. And it reminds me of what I learned when I started studying Reiki. Sure, there are people who say that Reiki as a practice goes back thousands of years in Japan, and yet Reiki, as we know it today, was sort of codified in the 1800s and didn't even make it here into the United States. Let's see, the first Reiki clinic in the U.S. was started in 1970. So some of these things that sound and are presented as very, very ancient are really a little bit more recent when it comes to how we look at them in the modern era. But okay, so what is this thing called Huna exactly? What is this theory of metaphysics? Okay, when we come back from this break, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how this man developed it. And then I'm going to explain some things from this book I have called Huna, including the Huna prayer format, which is supposed to be able to tell you exactly what to do if you want to use the Huna method of manifestation. And it has a lot to do with looking at yourself maybe in a way that you've never looked at yourself before. Hey, do you like this show? It's a free show. If you want me to keep doing it, you gotta support it. You can do that by going to my website, joshuapwarren.com. There, please visit the Curiosity Shop and please consider buying something cool for yourself or a loved one. You don't have to, but just look at the stuff that's there. Stuff you won't find anywhere else in most cases. And on the homepage, do yourself a big favor. Sign up for my free and spam-free e-newsletter. It takes you 2 seconds. You put your email address in the box, hit submit. When you do that, you'll get an instant automated email from me with some free online goodies, and you're going to love them, I promise you. JoshuaPWarren.com. Next week, change things on the iHeartRadio and Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I'll be right back.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? WashableSofas.com has your back. Featuring the Anime Collection, the only designer sofa that's machine washable inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slipcovers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com and get up to 60% off your Anime sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change. Certain restrictions may apply. Looking for a mortgage, credit card, or auto loan? Then you should know your FICO score. Did you know 90% of top lenders use FICO scores? Visit myfico.com/free today to get your FICO score for free. MyFICO makes it easy to understand your credit with FICO scores, credit reports, and alerts. Visit myfico.com/free. That's myfico.com/free. Or download the MyFICO app and discover the score lenders use most. That's myfico.com/free.
Summer's heating up, and so are the savings at Burt Brothers. Right now, save up to $170 on a new set of tires, with limited time rebates on top branded tires starting at $69. Plus, save more than 30% on essential maintenance with our new Car Care and Performance Plus service bundles. Wherever the road takes you this summer, make sure to start with Burt Brothers.
Burt Brothers Tire and Service. Burt Brothers does it better.
Nothing says summer like double rewards on your Mountain America Rewards credit card. Get 2 times the points on everything from gas and groceries to projects. Now through July 31st, 2025. It's the perfect way to stretch your dollar and make summer doubly rewarding. Apply for your Mountain America Rewards credit card at macu.com/double. Loans on approved credit. Offer can change or be withdrawn at any time. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Being a parent means carrying everything. Snacks, toys, tired legs, all at once. Wonderfold stroller wagons are here to help. With sleek design, top-of-the-line safety features, and seating for 2, 4, or even 6, it's made for real parenting. Every Wonderfold purchase unlocks the world of Wonderfold, their rewards program, with exclusive discounts on attractions, hotels, and more. Plus, helpful content and offers to make family adventures even more memorable. Discover yours at WonderFOL.com, because with Wonderfold, you can.
host, the Wizard of Weird, beaming into your wormhole brain from my studio in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, where every day is golden and every night is silver. Agiatato Zume. Here are some unusual facts about Hawaii, the 50th U.S. state. It's the only U.S. state with 2 official languages, English and Hawaiian. The Hawaiian alphabet also has only 12 letters. It's the only state where you can visit 11 out of 13 different climate zones in one day on the Big Island. But this one I think would be my wife Lauren's favorite. It's illegal to own or bring snakes in islands. Fascinating place. All the more reason to go there. I'm a lover of all animals, but I've had a snake or 2 slither into my bedroom back in the day, and I prefer not to have those encounters. All right, so this fella, Max Freedom Long, was an American novelist, New Age mystic, and he went to Hawaii in 1970 to work as an elementary school teacher. Became interested in the religious beliefs and practices of the ancient kahunas and modern practitioners of the traditional indigenous Hawaiian religion. But none of these ceremonial people talked to him, so he was kind of unable to penetrate into the inner workings. Now, even though huna means secret, in the Hawaiian language, the term kahuna is used for any expert. So this could be an expert diagnosing an illness, medicine, canoe building, temple building, wood carving, stargazing. You get the picture. And this fella, Long, he left Hawaii in 1931, convinced he would never learn all the secrets. But in 1934, he woke with a revelation that the secrets were encoded into the Hawaiian language itself. And this is what he developed into the system known as huna, 1936, to chronicle his beliefs. I got this email from this fella who says, hey, if you want to read the best book, he's a listener, you want to read a good book about Huna, read this one called Huna, The Ancient Religion of Positive Thinking. And it's by William R. Glover. This particular book was published in 1983. In the preface it says, Max Freedom Long called Huna a psycho-religious system because it contains elements of both psychology and religion. In psychology, it is practical and effective, and as religion, it is a simple yet complete way of life. All right, let's see what this is all about. So here are some portions that I found interesting. It says here on page 12, one of the most important techniques in the Huna concept is understanding the lines of communication between the 3 minds or selves, as the kahunas called them. A unique concept in the Huna technique of prayer, conscious and not the conscious mind, has the telephone line to the higher self. So if we wish to pray to the higher self or God to a request, we have to go through the subconscious. It is not possible to pray directly to the high self. The most important part of the mechanism of this kind of positive thinking is learning to work through the subconscious to get through to the superconscious. Okay, now that may have sounded a bit confusing, but think of yourself as a house that has 3 levels. We're all like this. There's even an illustration of a guy in a 3-story house. It's the same guy, but he's on different levels. And here's what the book says. Try to think of the 3 cells of man as a house with a basement, a first floor, and an attic. The middle selves live on the first floor. It can see out the windows and get a glimpse of the world. There are trees and shrubs to block the view, however, and the information gathered by the middle self may not always be correct. The low self lives in the basement. There are no windows. The only facts given to the low self are pictures sent through a telepathic telephone line from the middle self on the first floor. The subconscious does not question these facts. It simply accepts them as presented and files them away as memory. Now, the superconscious lives in the attic. The high self can see all around through its windows. No shrubbery blocks the view. It sees pure truth. However, and this is extremely important, the high self's telephone line goes only to the low self in the basement. It cannot communicate directly to the middle self or the conscious mind. And this is the reason why we must pray through the subconscious in order to reach the high self. There is no direct telephone line from the conscious to the superconscious. Now, I think that's pretty clear. You should have understood that. So again, you have the subconscious level down here, and you have this superconscious attic up here, and you're observing things in the middle, and the information that you're giving is going down to the subconscious, and that's what goes up to the guy in the attic who makes things happen. All right, fine. So how do we get things done this way? Let's see here. Later in the it says, here is the HUNA prayer format. Okay, so the perfect prayer along with suggested affirmations. Number one, decide exactly what is to be asked in prayer. And I'm not saying, by the way, that I agree with all these things. Sometimes I think that we don't know exactly what we want. And sometimes we might limit ourselves by asking for exactly what we want, which is why a lot of times if you're going to pray, you might ask for this or something even better than you can imagine. But regardless, this is about what this man says in this book about HUNA. He says, decide exactly what is to be asked in prayer. Number two.
All right, this is where I'm going to get off.